Hi guys, Adab, Namaste, Sat Sri Akal. So welcome to Curious Prairana, and today we are going to talk about how I bought my house in my 20s. Like मैंने देखा है, whenever people see other people buying their house in an early age, they think कि how this person is earning so much at this young age to buy a house, and how big deal it is to buy a house in your 20s. Watch the video till very end to know that. Is it that important or not? So before deciding how to make that saving for such a big investment, we need to know something. What are assets and what are liabilities? So a liability is something, if you buy it, a value continuously starts depreciating. For example, a car. Suppose if you buy a car, so उसको पेट्रोल भराना पड़ेगा, उसको मेंटेनेंस करना पड़ेगा every year और बहुत सारे खर्चे. And the value every year depreciates. Even if you buy a car today and you go to sell it tomorrow, the value will be depreciated. Whereas on the other hand, assets, for example, a house, something which makes some money for you. You bought a house and you are getting a rent out of it. So it is your asset. Okay. Secondly, if you have taken a mutual fund, you get a returns in a long fund. It is an asset. So to plan for any big investment in the future, you need to have more assets and less liability. Okay, so buying a house in your 20s, especially for a girl, for a woman, is still a big deal. Okay, forget about buying a house. Every woman should know how to manage their finances, no matter what age you are. It gives you a financial independence, which is so important. Okay, so today now we are going to discuss a step-by-step process how you should go ahead if you're planning to buy a house. Number one thing which I always tell everyone, to set your financial goals. It is not just a goal setting thing which is very philosophical and you read in books and it is not that important. I cannot emphasize enough on the value you get or the importance of setting a goal. Goal can be of three types: your short-term goals like up to 3 to 5 years, your medium-term goals up to 5 to 10 years or 12 years, and anything beyond that comes into a long-term goal, right? Now, buying a house can be a long-term goal for someone who is planning to do it after 12 years, or it could be a short-term goal who is trying to do or purchase it within 3 to 5 years. Okay, so that is how a goal setting works. Goal could be different, but their time decides what kind of investments you should make to get that house. Okay, so coming to the kind of investments, just keep watching this video, we'll come to that. Okay, so step number 2 is budgeting. Budget is very important. What is your budget? How big house you want? What is important for your house? What exactly you are looking in your house? That is very important. So if you go out in the market, prices of real estate is booming like anything. There's a house available from 1.5 lakhs to 2 crores, 10 crores, 11 crores, what not. Okay, so it might not be a requirement, right? So first of all, sit down and see what is your real purpose for buying a house. Are you buying this house for a long run, or are you buying this house just as an investment? That should decide how much money you should right now invest and put into that house. So step number 3 for analyzing it is simple. Go to your banker. Okay, take your pay slips for last 2 to 3 months and go to your banker and ask him that how much loan, if you are planning to go with a loan, that how much loan you are eligible for. Right, so he will tell you, but before that, it is very important, before going to a banker, set your own limit. Because if tomorrow a banker will say, suppose you only wanted to buy a house for 40 lakh, but your banker said, no, you can buy up to 60 lakhs. Now your mind will start working, up to 60 lakh ka ghar kharid sakta ho. It should not be like that. So you should first analyze your requirements and then go to bank or how much you are eligible. Okay, then see whatever you thought, you can decide somewhere in between those two costs. Ask for the EMI. If you go for 40 lakhs, what will be an EMI? 50 lakhs, what will be an EMI? And the maximum eligibility, what will be the EMI for the longest period, or whatever period suits you. So take a different periods in horizon. Okay, take an EMI for 20 years, 25 years and 30 years. So it will give you a picture like for how many years you can pay how much amount. I would suggest not to go for a very long term if you are capable of paying between 20 to 25 years. because of course home loan gives you a income tax benefit, so yes, it is not emergent, it's not urgent to close it down, right? EMI will be. So now when we are done with our budget setting, like how much are we ready to put in, and we know that what will be the EMI, for that it's time to research. So yeah, research is another very important aspect. Whenever you are researching, the very first thing you are going to check is the locality. Whether you are going to stay in a house or whether you are planned to rent it, in both the case, locality plays an important role. Having a close proximity to a medical store, schools, banks, ATMs will let your house get rented very easily. Secondly, what you need to check is the reputation of the builder from whom you are buying a house. That builder should be of good repute, should have done many more projects earlier, and should have delivered it at the right time. That is very important. What else you can check is the upcoming buildings around, so that you can have a rough idea like what kind of people are seeing there, what kind of people are staying there. This all gives you a fair idea that how will your life be. Okay, so all this comes under a research. One thing which is very important, that whichever bank you will go with, most of the banks will want you to make a down payment of around 20%, 10 to 20%. So suppose if you are going for a loan of 50 lakhs, the 20% of that is 10 lakhs. That means 10 lakhs down payment you need to make. Now there are chances that you might have saved for it, or you will save for it eventually. But if you will consider that you have not started saving, if you need to save 10 lakhs in next 2 years, that makes around 40,000 per month, which is a huge amount. So in that case, you can go for a under construction property. What happens in an under construction property, bank releases a money in part, and so is your down payment goes in a part, like, which means in a crux that you do not need to pay 10 lakhs at the moment immediately. Okay, you can pay it in parts. So that is also one thing which you need to keep in mind when you are deciding on the kind of property you want to buy. And this brings us to the $1,000,000 question. Is it a big deal to buy a house in your 20s? And the answer is no. You should not buy a house because just your friends are buying. Maybe they have a responsibility, they have a children, or they must be staying in a place which is rented and rent is too much. But that should not be your reason. Your reason should be when you are ready to buy a house, when you can make your head up and walk and stay and say that you are ready to pay an EMI and enjoy a beautiful vacation side by side. That EMI is not going to hurt you, not going to hurt your vacation and big other dream plans. And that is the right time to buy a house, not in your 20s, not in your 30s, and not in your 40s. It could be any time. Okay, so now I come to my bonus part. The bonus part is how to save that money to buy a house. How to divide that? What investment should be made to do that? So the number one thing which is very important for making any big kind of investment, it could be buying house, it could be going abroad for studies, it could be buying a car, maybe a luxury car you are planning to do, it could be a world tour you are planning for really long. The main funda is to be disciplined with your finances. So the lot of people whom you have seen doing all this, they might not be earning very well, like they must not be a millionaire, still they are able to do it because they know how to manage their money. So the key of all this is to manage your money well rather than earning more. How to do that? So as I said in the starting of the video, you need to make your goal short term, long term, and medium term. Okay, deciding on the goal is important, and then you make an investment accordingly. Suppose your goals are short term, you need to invest in a fixed deposit, you need to invest in a RD. This is what I did, so I'm telling you. For my short term, buying a house for me was a short term goal because I wanted to do it in within 5 years. So I invested in fixed deposits, I invested in RD, I invested in some liquid funds and debt funds. But if buying a house is a long-term goal for you, then you should make investment in mutual funds which are related to equity market. Not completely, don't put your 100% in equity. Do not put all your eggs in the same bucket because mutual funds are subject to market risk. Okay, so generally the rule which applies is whatever is your age, that much should go towards debt and remaining should go towards equity. Okay, so this is the golden rule which you need to follow. So that was a bonus tip. I think you were practically somewhere clear now. I'm just gonna revise and review all the steps I told you so that you get a clear picture about it. Number one, set your financial goals. Number two, budget. Decide on a budget what you want to do before even going to your banker. Number three, go to your banker, ask with your salary slips and ask how much loan you are eligible for, what will be the EMIs for three separate periods, 20 years, 25 years and 30 years. Okay, next is start doing your research. Try to look out for the kind of property you want to buy. See what are the rent prospects there, see what are the down payments there, see what is the construction stage so that you do not need to make an entire down payment at the same time. Next comes, is it important to buy your house in your 20s? No. The right time to buy your house is when you are ready, when you are on a stable job, when you are ready to take a responsibility. Okay, and last but not the least, make investments according to your goal to achieve your big dreams. That's it for today, guys. I hope that was helpful. If you like this video, if you want more such video, comment and tell me. Press a subscribe button, subscribe to my channel, it's free, and then press a notification button so that when I make these kind of videos, you get a notification. Till then, bye bye, take care, keep smiling.